Okay, so it's 6:30. I don't have the fan on. I moved the fan out of here now. It's already chilly in here. And I don't have the music or the binaural, the beats on. And did I already say 6:30? I'm really, really out of it. My God, I got woke up a couple times last night, but it's always that when she wakes me up in the morning. If I don't wake myself up, if she wakes me up, I'm so out of it. So, and it's funny because I was talking about that with my mom. She was talking about when I was a kid, how I would be so out of it in the mornings. And I was like, I can't be woke up. If I get woke up, I am so out of it. When Stella wakes me up, I am just out of it. I've got to wake myself up. I've got to just come to wake naturally. That really messes with me. She said it's been my whole life that I've been like that. And I think a lot of people because she said something about like if somebody wakes her up, she's out of it. So anyways, I don't know what it is, why it's that way, but I feel so weird. And it is just weird. Everything is just weird. Like, I mean, just the thing with this weird like flipping over feeling inside of me and then the lights going. I don't know if you heard that part yesterday when I said that. Um, and look at this. This is the little microphone set. Like it came in this fancy little thing and like you open it. It's like, so I don't know. But I thought having that down here, it seems like, so on the phone, on the front part, it has like a mic and a light, how high it is. Something scratching my throat, hold on. And for some reason, my phone keeps turning the light down all the time. Like I'll be looking at stuff on the phone and then all of a sudden my light just goes down and my phone goes dark. And it's like, what in the hell? How does it just do this by itself? And so I bet you it's doing something with the mic too. But I don't even know if that mic, I guess it's the only mic. Like, I don't know how this phone thing, how they put all this shit together. Like, I don't know if the mic on the phone it must be the one for talking on the phone. I thought it was like how loud the ring and stuff was. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But now I'm going to watch that. So this is like another sound test. If you guys see some kind of difference or improvement, other than just no background noise, if it does sound more louder. Because I had no idea it was being so low for some people. I'm glad people started saying, because I had no idea. When I hear it, it sounds just completely normal. But I did go and to that part yesterday where everybody said it cut off, and then I kept going and going and going, and it never comes back on. So it had to be something with the mics, I guess, even though it had a green light the whole time. So it never even, I don't know. It just is, I was thinking, well, on the big scheme of things, though, that there was probably something I had said that I wasn't supposed to say yet or something. I don't know. Because the universe has the final say over stuff. Whatever they want to go through or whatever they don't want to go through goes. Because it's really up to them. Them, I say, is like there's people up there deciding, but it's an energy, and it's hard to explain if you don't understand about energy and frequency and vibration, because you can't just alter the frequency or the vibration of something. You can't just change it. You have to turn it up, and or turn it down, because like literally when we come in here, it's like we turn our frequency down into this experience. But think it through. And why would you do that? Why would we ever come here? Well, what happens when we're here? We learn, we grow, we expand ourselves. Geez, we get to have so much experience. We get to see what it's like to draw. We get to see what it's like to swim. We get to see what it's like to jump. We get to see what it's like to hold hands with somebody. Like, you can't do that when you're just energy. you're just out there. You don't get to feel and experience like that. And going through hardship and trauma, because my mom, this is what's funny, like the religious people, I don't understand their philosophy of life. Like, you got to think, what is your philosophy of life? Not just what is your hopes for the afterlife. What do you hope's going to happen? Because this is damn scary. You got to think of, like, you know, but maybe it's like you have to feel inside of you, like, because I don't understand it, you know. But it was, oh, it was something I had said, and it was, I was thinking about something that my dad had done, and I was thinking about somebody else, we know what was done to them, because my dad was a total predator. He didn't just, with me, he tried and kept being unsuccessful, but still, when your dad is like constantly trying, it's a lot. And but he would try, but I would fight. That's why I said, like, I fucking, something triggers in me, and it's like, come on, like. So and I always, when I see these things with these little girls, and they just submit, and I'm always just like, but we all have lessons. Everybody has lessons, and it's these different soul groups, and they do what they're supposed to do in their, like, they're playing their part, because that has lessons for other people involved. So it's so much more complex. But that's where, religion steps in and says, oh, it's not complex at all. I swear to God, I couldn't believe this. So I've been so busy. It's so weird, because it's just like a few months ago, I was just sitting here like, every day's Groundhog Day. It was just the same day every day. And now I just feel like it's like, I'm busy. And like right now I've got 4 paintings going back here. I've finished all my projects up. All these things that I thought were going to take some time and stuff. And so they're done. I think I'm going to go to see the grandkids this weekend. So I think I'll just a quick jump over there, because it's not that far. It's just the drive is just intense, where it's like, oh, fuck. But when I think about it, it's just the same to go to Olympia as it goes to Yakima, or to go to Tacoma. It's not that much further past Seattle. They drive up to Seattle all the time. So anyways, I just got to, prepare myself for that intensity of the drive, and get out of my head over, all the wrecks that have probably happened on the way, and the crazy drivers. Like, there's the craziest shit going on with the wrecks, man. And then going through a hot zone and during this time, like Yellowstone, the explosion at Yellowstone yesterday, it is, I don't know if you've seen the videos, but it's intense. I can't believe how the people just go back after it explodes and goes back and starts looking through it. But when you see that footage, that is what I'm talking about when I said Yellowstone was the scariest place I went when I was a kid. You see how it was like the hot whatever those things, all their sulfur pools or whatever, are all over the place. And they are walking on these little bridge things right down low. And the whole time the person's telling you about all the people who die doing it. It's intense as a fucking shit. And then it shows the before of these, I don't remember the name of the springs, and it's so blue and beautiful. And it suddenly explodes. People are on the bridge. It's like, fuck, I don't know, maybe they were telling us lies while we were walking on that bridge, but fuck, shit started exploding out of that shit. I'd fucking hightail it as fast as I could off that goddamn bridge. And the people all just seem to keep looking, and it's like, run! What is wrong with you people? God damn. But maybe that's not a really super hot one. But I'm telling you, that tour, back when I did it in the 70s, it was fucking intense. And so aftermath, though, there's been, I just saw somebody saying there's like been 100 earthquakes in Hawaii since. Volcano in Italy went off. Texas had the biggest earthquake ever. It split the ground. We sure got a lot of ground splitting going on. no, I just, I don't know. I mean, I can hope for this fault line thing is going to shoot up and go past us and leave us kind of connected to Canada, because I'm like so close to Canada. I'm like, I could run to Canada. And so maybe that will happen. I don't know. You know, it's weird because I feel more like I'm like things go in this direction where I keep fixing this up more. And so I don't know, because I feel like I'm not going to be here. I know I'm not going to be here year round. So I don't know, but I know I wanted to go in that direction. I wanted to fix it up and then use it as a rental. There's like a travel rental place, not necessarily Airbnb, because there's not really vetting. There's like, through all this stuff, there's been one crisis after another, videos of Airbnbs. And then because it was all, so much of it was owned by these LLCs and these corporations, and then they have rental companies and stuff like that. Some people have started them and tried to do them, and then but anyways, there's been a lot of shenanigans. Like, I think Up and Up people, they were getting all their stuff destroyed, like people going in and destroying their stuff, and then the LLCs and stuff are destroying the economy for everybody. Like, they're all going down. My daughter just told me something about, there's something going on with Donald is trying to give immunity to all cops or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. And I told her, I don't know anything about that. All I know is that a lot of those people, along with judges and mayors and sheriff, like a lot of those people are going to tribunal things. They are going to be in trouble for crimes against humanity, just like along with these corporations and stuff. I guess apparently all of these flights being canceled, it has something to do with some cyber attacks too, which you would think that that would be more legit to, but they're using weather. So they're saying that because of the weather, it's out of their control. So they are just blowing all these passengers off. There's people who have been sitting in the airport for days. And somebody was saying that there's all of these protection things for the airlines, and that they can't treat us these ways. And they, they're supposed to have to refund you all your money, give you hotel, give you rental car. They're supposed to do all this stuff. Well, none of that's getting done. People are being stranded all over the place. And so Donald, or I guess, I think it was, or something, but everybody was saying, or these people I was listening to, because they brought him up, and then, but there, I don't know, maybe I'm getting confused. I'm pretty sure they brought him up, but there's, but he does keep saying about these lawsuits and stuff, because there's going to be all these lawsuits against these big lawsuits. What did I call those before? Class action. There's going to be a lot of them against the corporations because of these illegal practices that they've been doing, because it goes against our rights. And the corporation that became in charge of America, let them all bend the rules and do what they want and treat us like garbage and raise the prices. But now they're all going to be getting in trouble for it. And so that's going to be a big part of it. It's going to close down the corporations, I imagine, is all these lawsuits. They're going to go bankrupt. They're not going to be able to pay all this. And all their funding is going to be being pulled by their rich friends that all scratch each other's backs because, hold on a sec, because of their corrupt ways. The one I was just seeing was their about the chemo thing, that is the same thing as these doctors are going to be going down for this shit, man. So they buy the stuff, that they tell us we have to take if we get these certain things. They buy it for like $5,000. Then they sell it for $12,000. The insurances pay like $9,000. Don't forget the insurance is involved in all this scheming. It's all a laundry system. And then however it works, the doctors get a pocket for extra, they get extra money just for doing it. It's a kickback. So they get these kickbacks, and that is what's going to take them down. Because there's all these doctors. I mean, there was already the one that came out, and he was prescribing this to everybody, so get rich quick scheme. And then in it only has it's 97% non-infective. So only 3% of the people are cured from that cure. And the doctors just quickly keep giving it because, God, I have to keep taking it. Man, I swear, it's like I feel so weird too. Like I feel like I'm in different, like something feels off. Like I'm in a space, something's so weird. It's got to be the vibration. It's got to be this separate. I can see like this, the energy vibration separation. Like I could so much tell when I went to Spokane. Every time I go to other people's houses or anything, you can feel like every portal you entry, every door you go through is a whole new set of energies. So a whole different reality. Everyone in that existence, in that realm, is living their own reality from learning. Even kids, like, God, it's so trippy because it's just, it's like, so what I'm seeing is like a board game, say, and it has all these little lights, like little individual, just like the snow globe thing, micro, macro, because on a snow globe, a little bit, each little home is its own snow globe. Each bedroom can be its own reality in some houses. A kid can get himself super cut off from the family. Like one of those kids that sits in their room, they don't want to be bothered. They have their lighting a certain way. They maybe have a real super dark, or they could have weird lights going or whatever. And then they, oh yes, too, with the girls too, like the brooding teenager, the girl who's sitting in her journal just focused on what makes her so sad. The boy, like it's a very emotional time for growth period. So that can become its own energetic field in there. And it can call in a lot of spirits, like a lot of energy can come and be in that little room. So but how I've seen it was like all these little theaters with the lights come on, all these little theaters. Like I'm always thinking about like the watchers. Like we're not watching. I mean, we're waking up to begin to watch and observe what's happening in the world around us. But, to the watchers and stuff, it's like these little theaters, like tune in what's going on over there, and the lights are on, and the people interacting and stuff. But the players are all learning from these interactions. So it's what it keeps increasing you in your growth, in your knowledge. And so, that's what we're doing here. And and all of the people look at things so strange. And but when we were talking about this abuse situation, and my mom was like, I just don't understand why these bad things happen. It seems like I'm having to take it more often. That I was like, well, it's because that's what we're here for. I mean, we come here to learn, but why does there have to be so many those kind of people? That is, it's so weird because like we get caught up in these certain things, but when you're a soul, when you're in your soul form, you don't think about that. You think about the things that you learn from the situation. So it's not like, none of us are really each other's parents. So even when you come in with this illusion, where the same thing, like, I swear it's all the same, like with the body dysmorphia and the, because it's the same thing with the trans people with the body dysmorphia. They feel like they're supposed to be in a different body. And but the soul doesn't have those restrictions like that are created in this atmosphere or this reality or this realm where we have rules on these things, like, leave your own kids alone. And it is, in their science part, and they say, it's going against things because it messes up on your DNA, and it affects the kids biologically. So then you don't do that kind of stuff. And then what we see is this impulse action that people can't control themselves, and that they override certain rules here. We'll see that is what the universe is learning about, is what inside creates this reaction. And each individual has their own reaction, is why things keep going, because every little thing is a little tiny tweak, a little change, and all these things happen. So it's an expansion of being able to see all the different things that lead to these things happening. And that is why we are all here to see that it is not the person so much as the individual that does these things. Is a reaction or interaction of subsequent events that creates this particle of the person's personality that they, it's like that they can, it's like witnessing themselves, but there's more to it, because there is, I swear the universe is kind of like a giant lab, whereas in a lab you are constantly documenting these things, like, well, what happens on this? What if this changes? What if the weather changes? What if it's in the dark? What if it's in the light? What if it's when it's hot? What if it's when it's cold? Like every little fucking thing that you can come up with, you're supposed to monitor. They start skipping a lot of that and giving us stuff that, that's why there's so much stuff on that with chemicals and that stuff. And we all were under the illusion that there was these protective agencies, but they weren't, because everybody was already sold out. And that's what I'm saying, these sellout people are going to be going down for crimes against us, because it's criminal when you break it down. But so the people who come in and go through these things where, we can look at out of our judgment and think, this is wrong or this is bad or whatever, but the universe looks at it as gaining knowledge. It looks at it like, because it's not real, it's not really happening, it's an illusion. It's just like, to us, like, we could sit and watch a movie and we could keep going, well, it's not real. I mean, it's not real, so okay, well, that's pretty scary. That's not real. And so it's the same kind of thing. It's like, we think this is real. It's like all the people in the movie. Like, if they all thought the movie was real, we think that this is real, but it's not. It's just the same as a movie. It's just the same as, like, that's not that's not who we are in the end. Like, even in a, I personally think this Ascension thing is like, I will stay this character. Like, this character that I'm creating at this time will carry on. And this will be, it's like a creation of a being. It's like my higher self giving birth to me. And so I do think that in the Ascension process, you stay the character that you're creating now. That's why it has to be high vibration. You have to heal your stuff. You can't you can't carry that stuff forward. The vibration will hold you back. Like, I'm not just making it up. I'm not just saying it for fun. You can't move around with holding on to baggage. And I don't know, when you leave here, that. Okay, so when you leave here, like you exit out through death, then you, fuck, I have to keep doing that. It feels like I can't, it's weird. Then you leave your baggage, but you leave it packed. You left your packed bags, and it's like you've left, but you're coming back for them. So when you die, when you come back, you still have your bags to deal with. You still got to unpack. You still got to figure out what you're going to do with your stuff. And that is everything you put out of balance in other ones, and everything that you need to heal. But when you come out of your body, then you have your frequency of your soul. So wherever your soul's frequency resides, out there in the vast heavens, because it's vast. Yeah, imagine like a honeycomb, huge, huge, huge. It's almost like you could get lost in the heavens. Like, but you have a homing device, like your vibration and your soul group. It's like that is what draws you to it. Just like how our soul has us kind of chained, kind of like a dog leash. That's funny. That is, so it's kind of like we're getting to go off leash. That's how I see it. It is like, it's like it's like your higher self. Okay, so it's like your higher self has gone through all these different lifetimes, and so it kind of like it creates its warrior to send in for this time, whatever role you're going to play. Most of the people are going forward. They're going to champion themselves because they're going through so much that they're going to, become warriors. It's like all these warrior spirits are here to overcome. And the people who aren't overcoming, that's to only push us further in that, we can't sit down and let this take us over. It's like the blob, the energy of the blob take you over. You don't want that. You want to fight for your right. And so you stay, maybe my guys do communicate a lot in music stuff like this. Or it's funny. It's fight for your right to party. And so it even sounded like the Beastie Boys. So so you fight for your right to exist, or whatever existence that you determine is. But it's like at this time, it does totally seem like everybody's got to get their relationship with their higher selves. Like, and, I can't say every single person because I don't know, but it seems your higher self is like pushing you to become your best self, just like as we as parents push our kids, and as birds push their babies out of the nest and stuff. It's like this pushing us out of the nest to, in a scary kind of thing, but that is where you learn to grow and become stronger. And this self-identity that we're learning, but see, that is where we stay this character in the Ascension. We don't die. We don't exit. We're not exiting from the game. We are going to, it's like a bridge, like confirmation. It's like we're going across the bridge. Like I've said this before. There's the Rainbow Bridge to the New Age, and we are crossing it. But it's a new adventure. Nobody's done it before. And so we are doing it, and we have to be in touch with our spirit in order to know what to do through the process. And the bridge is our opportunity to get rid of the baggage, let go, throw it over the side, mourn it, process through all of your garbage and the stuff that holds you back, and then move into this opportunity of wealth. I heard wealth. But it's like this whole abundance. It's this abundant feeling. Like, whereas before we were in this feeling of lack, it was never enough. We could never get enough. We always had another bill come in. As soon as you got your stuff paid, your car broke down. You're saving for a vacation, your roof collapses. It was just this constant, like, trying to get up the ladder, and then you just keep falling back down. And so we all been going through that sense of lack. Even people who had a lot of money, that could sometimes only add to the stress. Like, if your house payment's $30,000 a month, it can be a little stressful. We're talking three. So we can't just say each rich person, well, they didn't have that problem. It's like, no, if they, everybody had the same thing of piling on too much. Consumerism all got the best of us. And then the inflation and their shutting down businesses and stuff. So there's lots of people that are having issues going right now with all sorts of numbers and money. But see, that's the energy that's going to switch. It's going to be more of that, not having to worry, not having to stress. But see, we have to learn because if you go back to the lives through the age that we have awareness of, is it was common for people to be handed things, and rich kids, that never had to struggle or worry. Even in school, people kissed their ass because they were the rich kid or whatever, that they didn't ever have to struggle. Then when they get to the point of where things get harder, some of them, they just, it's like they can't handle it. Like, a lot of different things happen. But there's just, they've like lost an appreciation. There's something that gets lost in the development of the person. And so it's kind of like we're going through all this hardship right now so that we really appreciate it when we have it. When we have it, it's like, oh my God, like it's going to be like a gift. And also, I don't know what they got going with Joe. And yesterday he was out walking, being, cocky or whatever. They got Kamala, she's already got her signs up for being president. And you got more and more stuff just being exposed. Like, it's just a lot of stuff just being exposed. And so, we just got to keep writing it out and just see, how they're going to play it out. What's going to happen? Is he back to just hurry up and crash the banks and then something? But there's definitely a lot of talk on the news and stuff. Well, if he can't run for president, he shouldn't be president. Okay, so now you're going to try and impeach him. We're going to try and impeach him now for the next couple months. Like, it's so absurd. Like, just freaking, it seems like if they were to do it the long run like that, it would be because in that impeachment thing, they want to bring up every fucking crime he's ever done. Hopefully they do it just the quick way. He falls off the stage, hits his head, it's all over with or something. And because there's literally people who, I've spoken to them, they still think that's the real guy. That we sound completely crazy. So it's got to be revealed. You can't keep tricking the people like this. So something will have to be revealed about all this. And then plus we got all these people who are out there and they have them be like they're really dead, but then they just put these stand-in people because they want to keep feeding off of their oh, I think I talked about that some yesterday. I don't know if that was in the part that went off, but yeah, they want to keep using people's, like if Brittany and Justin died like all that time ago, and they just put these fake ass people in there, like and then who knows, like the fake ass people could know that they're not really them. I mean, could think that they're really them. It could be clones of them. There probably are clones of them. Because that one guy who was talking about the cloning center a long time ago, if you've ever seen his videos, like I've talked about him before, and he was made there and he lived there, but he told about horrible things that would happen there. And he said there was like so many Brittany ones that they made them all the time, and rich guys would come and pay to come there and abuse her. And he said it was horrible. He would see it happen all the time, and he said it was really, really horrible. And what the clone, the make believe Britney's would have happened, but I mean, I don't know. Like the Martin Lawrence clone, he is obviously not himself, and he was the one who wanted to be cloned, because he thought, but he could be also, like, why wouldn't he just have his consciousness sucked out and put in the other one? But that must not be it. It would be only offered what they want to do, like what they are testing on. Like they may be moving consciousness around so easy. They're like, we don't need to do that. Let's just clone him and see what the family, because he's saying he wants to be cloned, so then let's just do it. And then the family's like, no, he's so different. It's like Pet Cemetery. It's like, did you learn nothing? Like, you can't just, it's not the same soul. The same soul isn't waiting there. That soul has got its own business. And then when they are birthing things like that, it's like, well, is the soul going in there just the dark, like, I don't know, dark energy could, I guess if you got, I don't think it has enough of its own identity. But I don't know, like, I don't know how they're putting souls into these things. I have no idea. Maybe it has some, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. Like the consciousness is your soul. Them figuring out how to capture your consciousness, your energy, and move it into another one. Like, I can see that. They've got that in the movies and stuff too. Like, I completely can get that. But the getting, and like I had said before, this, doing yourself in thing, like, that's not guaranteed. You can't leave the game unless that's your time to leave. It's impossible. And nobody's going to feel sorry for you out in the soul world, because you're a soul and you made the decision to come in. And just because you forgot what you're doing here, that's your chance to figure your shit out. So nobody out there is going to be sitting there feeling sorry for you, where all these people are like, I just prayed, God, please. And it's like, no, everybody's got to figure out that you are your savior. And so you can't leave ahead of time, and you can't, tap out. It's impossible. And just think how many, I know I would have tapped out a lot of times. There was plenty of times I would like, get the fuck out of here. But, so you can't leave unless it's your time. So the people who leave by their own hand, it's always the way they were going to leave. That was the pre-plan, because everybody who is in their orbit, in their soul group, that has these certain relationships, that's because what they have to learn and grow from the experience. And there's lots of things, like you see things that you would never see. If you just watching someone else have it happen, you don't get the full impact of what they learn and what they see. So all these things have great interest for the universe. But what gets me is when they're just making bodies in labs. I mean, because they're doing Frankenstein shit too. When they're just putting bodies in labs, like something to get the soul, you have to be birthed. Like, we are birthed in. And I do see it, like, that star thing got me that day. because I remember being young and looking up and there were so many stars, so many. And then as time has gone on, it's not anything like that. So it's not anything like it used to be. And then whatever, that day when I was talking to him and outside, I don't remember what we were talking about, but they said, I was seeing the stars and stuff. And I said, what happened to all the stars? Where are all the stars? And they said that they were birthed. And then I saw it as like all these energies, all these lights coming towards this earth to be birthed in, and the shooting stars shooting down, and the energy shooting down to be birthed in. And why there's so much less is because we're at the end now. We're at the end of this, and we're changing to this new age. So everybody who was here for that, for this, I was like a lot, I think, came for this ending, for this part. And it's crazy because so many people are so overwhelmed by everything happening. But it's like you literally came here for this. And it is like this really beneficial thing. Like if we get to not die and we get to just stay this person for a long, long time, like as long as we want to stay. And then I think that you got to stay. I swear to God, I think we're giving birth to a whole identity, to a whole new self. And that is this ascension. And it's not like you completely separate from your higher self, but maybe it's like you're more, I don't know, because it seems like you can always go back to your mom and always go back. Like I see a kid hiding under a mom's apron. So you can always go back to your mom, but I think that we are going through this stage of development that we wouldn't. Like we would be more, maybe also our higher selves could be on a way higher vibration. So we wouldn't be meeting up with them, and when we're just in the heavens experiencing. But we're going into a time period where we don't die anymore. That's what's really cool, is like that was a whole level, we've leveled out of that, and we get to go into this other time period where it's just thinking about, not having to stress, not having to worry about what you have, having time to express yourself however you want to express yourself, if it's through art, through music, through words, but getting more time for you. And what's funny too is when we were going on the float, right? And we're saying, it's like, I think somebody said it's like heaven to just be out here floating. This is the life. And, how many of us are all like that? When we're doing something we enjoy, it's just the best thing in the whole world. Like, and this is all life is meant for. It's just to get on your raft and float down the river. And then, it's like the most simplest things is all we want. Just to enjoy our life, just to enjoy our time, to sit with our friends and relax. And instead, it's all built on this running around and competing with each other and getting stressed out about every fucking thing, trying to control things you have no control over. And so then it's a completely toxic energy, and all we want is the simplest out of life. And so that is what we're going to be getting, just our time to do what we want, our time to figure out how we feel we need to express ourselves, to show ourselves, and and to develop ourselves into doing the things that we want to do, and mastering the things that we feel motivated to understand. And so it's this it's really cool, because it's so crazy how all it is, the most simplest things are all we want. And it's like we're forced into this other lifestyle, but now we're breaking free, and it is going to go to such a more simpler life, simpler lifestyle, much more about adventure, self-expression, and connection, community building. It's going to be, a lot different than how it is now. And I do see kind of like there is this separation bubbles of energy. Like I think it's not going to be a bunch of people, I mean, there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to die. That's for sure. That's going to happen. But there's a lot of, let me think what I was about to say. Because it is like, it kind of seems like, and I heard somebody else say this and I couldn't see it, but now I kind of see is like, these, like, okay, so the same thing what I was saying about how they can look down and it's like these little lights. It's like these little realities. Like we think our neighborhood is all one reality. We're all in a certain area to have a certain experience, but each reality is its own reality. Like I don't know what goes on over at their house. I don't know what goes on over at their house. I'm not in their reality. I don't know what they're going through, what they're experiencing. So we all have our own realities of what we are experiencing, and they are separate. And so it's going to keep being like that, but it's going to become more of us, some people being able to be an observation of that, and other people still living it. So it's not like they're doing anything wrong. They're still breaking free from it. They're still living it, but it will be more like us being able to observe it. So there is like this separation and consciousness of it, which is kind of difficult because the people who are living it don't have the same awareness. And so you can see more, but then you have to control yourself. You can't be like, because they can't see what you're seeing. They don't understand what you understand. They're still developing into that. And it is like to them, watching you is going to be watching. It's like it's like it's like pulling them towards this better way. So it's not for you to sit and try and convince them or convince them or tell them or try and get them to see what you see. It's for you to take action and live your dream, live your that, because that is what is going to show them. That's what's going to pull them, not you telling them. Your action, what you're doing, is going to be the thing that helps pull them in the right direction. So it really is this changing the current, changing the wave. We're changing. It's like a river was going one way, and we've got all these people coming in to create this thing to turn it going the other way. And so everybody who can see that needs to walk their walk in that direction, because that is going to be what is got the view of these other people when they feel like, they don't know. It's all just so confusing. You walking your walk in confidence and believing in yourself is going to show them the direction. So you want to put your energy towards that, not towards trying to save them or whatever. That's all set in time. That's already set. It's not for you to do. And you get yourself too into this concept of you got to save the world. It's up to you, because you're still struggling with your ego. So you've got to be able to talk your ego down and say, no, they're living their life. This is their soul. It's none of my business. They get to experience this stuff, but they don't see the same things or any of the stuff. So it can be difficult. So especially, because, something my daughter said was like, it's like, man, if I start, because I've tried starting to explain some of the stuff going on, and they just zone out. They just don't hear it. I just think they think I'm just strange. I was thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking it's so weird. My whole life, I've been telling people what's going on here, and it's always been nobody listening. Everybody thinking I'm so crazy. And I know, like, in the spiritual community, like, there's, you go and get a group of spiritual people around, You know, especially before, you would easily have different opinions on things, you know. Because I was thinking about that spiritual group that I kind of joined in 2016 that was doing the Reiki and stuff. And I was telling them stuff, but no, people will just be like, no, that's not what's going on. No, that's not what's happening. It's this. It's like, okay, well, I don't think so. Especially my guides are telling me this. And I don't know. So, you know, this is all, I mean, I mean, any of you guys are going and listening to different spiritual people, you know, like everybody, there's some things I think that we say that are alike, but I think there's some things that, you know, that we don't see the same, but I also see that through it's how we perceive. It's what you perceive things to be. And then some people, you know, I would think it's going to show more clearly who has really been like into spirituality for a long time or really studying spirituality. And don't forget that this fake spirituality people have been around for a long time too. There's been girls and guys who just wanted, you know, think it's cute style, and, you know, they think like you just wear some crystals and you do some yoga or something and that means you're spiritual or something. Like everybody has their own scale of what spirituality is. And like I've explained what I believe, it's like your philosophy in life. It's like looking at life for a purpose of reason why you're here. What are you doing here? And then trying to do enough studying of what is the pull to you so that you can clarify and understand on the level that you need to understand. And I needed to understand the purpose of this. And so, you know, I looked into reincarnation, and near-death experiences go with reincarnation. So it kind of just went hand in hand. And so that is where I found my truth. That's where it was like, oh, well, of course, this is what makes sense to me. And so I've always believed in that. And that has been, oh, that's a huge argument. Like, I'm trying to tell religious people, this is an argument I've had with people for so long. I was telling people I believed in reincarnation 40 years ago, and over 40 years ago. And people thought I was just so whacked out. Like people who are just realizing about spirituality now, they don't even realize like how wacky that we all looked when we were talking about before and talking about this stuff. Everybody thought we were like so crazy. But, you know, you can't go against what you believe. I can't. I got to say what I believe. And then when I found out, you know, that Buddhists believed in reincarnation, then I just started being like, telling everybody, well, I'm a Buddhist, because it was like something they could understand. They had to have a religious registry. They had to have a label. You can't just say spiritual. They're like, what are you talking about, spiritual? Because you'd say, well, people would say, are you a Christian? No, I'm spiritual. What is that? Do you believe in God? Yeah, I believe in God. I believe in the universe. Well, so what is, I don't understand, like, what is spiritual? Like, the whole thing. People couldn't understand. They could only understand. So, and then, like I said, on applications and stuff, it used to ask you that, what you were. And it would give you things, like they would keep you in that bubble. Like, you have to be a religion. You pick one. So I was just like, okay, well, I'm Buddhist. And so I would just say, well, I'm Buddhist. I wasn't practicing. I read the Buddha Bible. And to me, it was more philosophy of how to look at life and how to get the benefits of your lessons and learn, and to get into the pace of the earth and not trying, the pace of existence and not trying to rush it or control it, to go at the flow of how your life is going, like always just enjoying the ride. So it has a lot of different things to teach in there. The book I read was the one that they left at the hotel. It was in Seattle, so it was Buddha Bible was up there, and I got it, and I read it all, and I still have it. Um, but I totally believe in those same things, but I'm not practicing any kind of religion. I don't. That right there is like adding a third party. And why do you need to practice a religion? Why not just go straight to the source? Talk to your soul, talk to your higher self, talk to your ancestors, talk to your dead relatives, whatever, because they're all around. And it's like people cut themselves off from that so much. Like my mom was saying some stuff like about my grandma or whatever. And I told her before. That I talked to him. And she's like, no, you didn't. You talked to the devil. The devil's tricking you. And it's like, Mom, no. And I tried to tell her something that her mom had said to pass on a message. And she's like, that's not true. And I don't even know what you're talking about. And I was like, okay. But when I was just there, and she was bringing up something about my grandma, I want to say, oh, wow, they're always hanging out with me. But, it's like, no, she can't wrap her head around that. To her, in her programming, it is the devil. The devil's tricking me. I've got lots of devils around me, tricking me and pretending that they are. It's like, where do you think all these souls go? Like, what is this book telling you? Like, all these souls, and they don't remember you. They don't remember who you are. Even the other day when my mom was trying to tell me, that once she gets raptured and she goes up there because she didn't do her job with her kids, that she's just going to be really sad. And I'm like, Mom, how can you be sad in heaven? Like, how can that, I don't see how, is sadness even allowed? How is it heaven then? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So you see what I'm saying? The sadness has to stay back in the bag, that you have to go back and go and unpack. You don't get to take your sadness with you. That would be a different vibration. You can't take sadness into a happy vibration. So even in that concept of purgatory, where I was talking about the realm in between, like a stopping station to like a rest stop, and you got to stop there and purge everything out. You can't move past there if you're holding on to shit. You can't get home. You have to let go of stuff. So you have to process through, and then you can move about and go to your home existence, or wherever it is that you, I don't know, wherever you call home, or your resting place as your energy of existence. And there's just a lot of different things, because like there's other planets where we are we are elevating up to that what they already are. So they already have done this, or did it on their planet or whatever, but they've already gone into where they are more their soul. We have a spacesuit on. They don't have that. They are their own energy. Like they can, it's like shapeshifters. It's like making yourself be seen. That's why we can't see them all the time, because it's a different frequency. And they it's like that they are this energy, but it's like I swear this is what we are going to be doing. It is like, this is why everybody's going to start looking so perfect, because you're going to shine out how, it's like you shine out how you feel about yourself, kind of. It's like, even my mom said this the other day. She said something, I think it was her, and she said, I don't understand these people. Maybe it was a video I had seen, but there was something she said, but I'm putting these two things together. But more of the, I don't understand why work on avatar and not work on yourself. Like, why would you want your avatar to look good? Why wouldn't you want you to look good? Why would you not put the energy into yourself? Like, you want it to look this certain way. Why don't you put the energy towards that? And so that is where people are going to get more directed like that. and they will. And healing, it makes you better. It makes you have a better outlook on yourself. So it makes you feel good. And if you feel good, then you're going to look good because you feel good. That's the whole thing, is about feeling good. It creates you to look good, because it's like this, it's your vibration. It's like when you were holding on to all this baggage and anger and resentment and stuff, that bitterness holds you back in yourself, where you just, you're holding on to a lot of emotions. And so that it kind of like dims your light, but it creates distortion, because so many times people are like, oh, like holding on, like, oh, like your muscles become tense, and you are tense and stuff, and your energy that you're putting out, it can be standoffish because you're so intense. So this is this like releasing all of that stuff, and then releasing that, it relaxes you, and then you just start being like, and then that starts coming out, this just loving life and loving yourself and being happy. And so we are going to have all these people that are more like that, more their optimum, where everybody's healed and feeling good about themselves and looking really good. And then I keep seeing it as like, we're going to stay like that for, just like how they're saying the Anunnaki is going to come back as some of these same guys, and they're 30,000 years old or something. It's going to be like the same kind of thing. Like we're going to, like how I always say, I'm more 60,000 years old. Well, we're going to be able to live that 60,000 more years, staying the same person. This idea of flesh and blood decaying and all that stuff isn't true. And we're shifting out of that mindset and realizing you're more of a hologram. And so that's where, what I've said is like, your hologram is representative of what you need to work on. So you can look at yourself and kind of see what it is you need to work on, because it brings up emotions in you, like whatever it is. And so you process through that, and then you become this elevated version of yourself, where you feel good. And so I think that is what, and it's in those QHHTs and stuff about everybody starts becoming super fit and stuff. But that is going to also be happening as this changes too. Because, I mean, the whole thing with the food and stuff, that keeps being stuck in my mind when my daughter was talking about, because she thinks like the older generations are toxic because thinking that people needed to be thin or something. It's like, well, you got to realize that that's how it was when we were all being raised, and they were telling us like our programming was different. And it's not like, to me, it's not toxic to be thin. It's like, well, it's more toxic to gain weight. It's like showing, it's not taking care of yourself. If I'm taking care of myself, then I'm not. But the other, whatever in the program that they did for the next generations after that, then they started changing that whole program. And so they think that that is very toxic to even think that way, that you need to stay in shape and stuff. And it's not like not staying in shape. Like there's a staying in shape, but I'm not talking about, it's this other, it's just a totally different way of thinking. It's so different a way of thinking. And they do all that stuff on purpose. I don't know where that sound was coming from. So they, because it creates this confusion, but this division on things and on health, where they think, that everybody who thinks that because to me, I feel like I want to stay close to my frame. I'm not comfortable, and it has nothing to do with what they said when I was a kid. They just gave ideas of how to take care of myself when I was a kid. but it has more to do with how I feel in my body. So I like to be closer to my frame. If I start gaining weight, it doesn't distribute the way I want it to distribute. It's like, I don't want that. I want to feel comfortable. And so I don't think that's toxic. And other people, like, I think that they did that whole thing when they started putting so much bullshit in the food, so much additives, and people started gaining weight. They just wanted people to accept that. Is like, well, in that the rest of us, if we were thought you should be thin, that we were the problem, because they were putting this stuff in the food that was going to make everybody gain weight because they wanted to do more testing on them. And what do? They get everybody on antidepressants because nobody feels good. Everybody's sick and stuff because we're not supposed to be carrying around extra 50 or 100 pounds, 200 pounds on our bodies. Our bodies are not made for that. Just like if you had an apple tree that had too many apples, the branches are going to start going down to the ground. You have to thin it out. So we have to take ourselves seriously, our bodies seriously. And, that's how I look at it. But, all these other generations, they've all been programmed too. So I'm not going to say, shame anybody. It's just all programming that you have to dismantle for yourself. And you have to decide, because it's all variable on all these different things. So each person has to figure out where they fit on the scale. That's why I said we're going into the gray. We're leaving the black and white and going into the gray. And you get to figure out where you feel right. And then the challenge is letting everybody else figure out where they feel right. Not trying to tell everybody how to think. It's just as I have this couple that didn't know that they were brother and sister and had a baby coming into my mind. And see, when we get too stuck on what's wrong and what's right, then, like that kid could grow up and feel like they are not worthy, that they're garbage, like how they used to be. If you didn't have a father, you were a bastard. So, that's where we've got to relieve our judgment. Maybe we don't want to do that. Maybe we don't want to be in incest. That's our private thoughts. It's not where we need to shame other people who have been birthed from that and make them feel like they have no value. But we also, as beings, we also set a standard. But that's what we don't shame people by setting a standard. We just walk our walk, and then everybody else follows along. So I can see it so clearly, but hopefully I'm making sense of how I'm saying it. But that's what it seems to me. It just, walking your walk, and it's going to make you make all the difference in the world that you want to have made. Being true to yourself and walking your walk, and not being pulled in any direction by others, and standing true to you. That gives people, even the people who may fight you on it, eventually they get to the point where they also feel like, well, I can do that. I can also, like, I don't have to explain to anybody. I can like this or not like this just because that's what I would like or not like. It's none of your business. So it gets people to feel more sure of themselves, because that's what the stuff we're trying to fix here, is how, like, just beat people down, made people insecure, made people not know what they're doing here, made people feel like so much competition. People don't feel safe, like all those things. But all these things are going to be breaking away. All the things that took advantage of that world and created such a hostile environment, all that energy is either heal it or they don't go forward. So I can totally see the going forward thing. And it is like that kind of, like that person was saying, there's like windows or something where they can see, but it is still like they are in a different, he's doing that way less. It's his nerves. I've totally figured. something with his nerves. And even when I say, relax, relax, he's doing so much better. He relaxes himself. He calms himself down. So I don't know what gets him started, but I definitely don't think he's sick. I definitely think it's his nerves. And it's so weird, too, is like, I don't even know what his life was like before. I swear he had a home at some point, because there's some things that he knows, you know, about home life and stuff, and following commands. But the weird thing is, too, is like when I was gone and people were like, well, he doesn't know his name. Well, who does know his name? I've been trying to practice so many names. He doesn't answer to him. So I'm just like, I'm just going to stick with Max and get it to where he starts knowing as his name. But, you know, he just got named a new name probably, you know, a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, he's not going to know it. He's such a goof. God, this guy's a goof. He's sweet, but he is also, he gets rowdy. And when he starts getting rowdy, he has the strangest, he looks like some little fucking, not a gargoyle, but something like that. Like a little creature. He does this whole little weird crouching thing and starts going. He's got this, and it's so funny too, is for my daughter, he's like, God, he's strange looking. I was like, it's so cute. I like strange looking, because there's like, they don't match. Like, they've got a different head match. So not like I would go Dr. Frankensteining, but there's people who keep doing all these mixes, or the dogs just do it. And then I'm not going to just, you know, like, this cute little face. You can't, it's like, oh, it's too hideous. Like, there is definitely people that are like, oh, no, I'll pick a cute one like that. But that is cute to me. It's so funny. That just shows all the difference of all of us, you know. Some of us look at funny little faces and think, oh my God, that's so cute. I look at Stella and think she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And then, we all just have our own things that we see. And, you know, I don't know, we spend way too much trying to please each other. But there was something else I was going to say about that dog thing. Oh, because nothing matches on him. He's got these really long, skinny arms with these really long, skinny hands. Let's see if he puts one up here. And he'll reach up. He'll reach up to get things. Like, I'll be standing, because he's getting bold in the kitchen. He just stands up. He just goes bipedal. I'm just going to walk around, see what's up here. And takes his long, old, skinny arms and his long, old, skinny hands and pulls things down. And the way he can understand so much stuff, it's like, this is probably definitely, I mean, it's definitely some soul coming back through. I don't know if it's, you know, another dog I had or a relative or what, but he is smart on another level. He's smart like Stella's, you know, they're good. They're a good match. So anyways, I've been talking and talking. Hopefully I've said something. Hopefully y'all could hear me today. What an ordeal. That was like, yesterday I went into it thinking, oh, this is so cool. I listened for, you know, a few minutes. I did a test one. It sounded good. And then I did the other one. And then I thought it sounded funny, but when I replayed it after I finished and I started it, I was like, it sounds different, but it sounds okay. To me, I could hear it. It's so weird how I can hear it, but then other people, they have to turn their thing all the way up and they can't hear it. And then I guess that does make sense, Crystal, that it wouldn't do the captions because it has to hear me to do the captions. You have to have I'd have to have a lip reader to know what I said. I have no idea. I just go off in my own little world and just start talking. So anyways, I'm finished talking for today, I think. So we got a lot of stuff going, a lot of things going on. Just make sure you're prepared for anything, especially now at the Yellowstone. Like, fuck. Yellowstone, that volcano is a super volcano. We don't want that volcano to go. If that's what's going to go down, it's going to be because lots of people are supposed to leave at the same time. That's going to be lots of people, which would push us out from the areas that we want to go. because we want to go towards the safer parts of the land mass, not out towards the edges. The edges are like, that's danger zone. I'm out here on the edge, so that is where I'm always like, okay, so is today the day? Are we going to tell me what's going on? Are we going to move me somewhere? Like, what's happening? Like, come on, guys, get with it. Come on, tell me what's going. But they don't tell you everything. You just have to learn how to trust, have faith, keep yourself calm, and just believe. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to have to learn how to believe. Everything's going to be okay. And so, anyways, there's a lot. I could just keep rambling probably, but we will end this now, and I will say to remember to learn how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's up to you. And then I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you later. Bye.